Let's try that again. Hi, how are you doing? I am Antonia, and it is Tuesday night. If you have not gotten used to it yet, our business nights with Antonia used to be on Mondays and Wednesdays on season 1, but now we have since switched to Tuesdays, and it's every couple of Tuesdays. It'll be very occasional. I don't want to bog up your time. I only want to communicate and share in this time with you when there's something great that we need to discuss. And what could be more great than mental health in the month of July, which, if you don't know what the month of July is, it is Minority Mental Health Month. So there was Mental Health Month was in May, but we get our own in July. Super excited about it. So let's go ahead and get into it. If you are here for the first time, I'm Antonia. I'm super bubbly. These are not my eyebrows, but they look very nice on me. Yes, I did my own hair, and I made sure I looked good enough to be here with you and sharing this time, however long it may be. So yes, this is how I am all the time. So let's go ahead and get into it. Ready? I think you said yes. Okay, great. All right, so let's talk about the business relevant. So for those who are new, business relevant is the segment where we talk about anything that's going on in the world and how it can be relative to my business, to your business, or how we can kind of spin it into maybe hopefully something positive, right? So as you know, what's going on in the world right now, there's a lot of conversations about race and inclusion and segregation and desegregation. There's this really hot trend that's going on TikTok where people are like, say something that you know is going to cause a lot of flack that people are not going to agree with you with. And a lot of people of color on TikTok are talking about the idea of desegregation was the absolute worst thing to happen to the Black community. People are all in that person's comments talking about how she was wrong. This is ridiculous. They called her Candace Owens, I think they called her a couple times. But the points that she made was really good. She didn't mean that she wanted us to be separate. She wanted us to be integrated. We should have been integrated. So it should have been spaces for everybody to go into. So I took that and I applied that to me and my business because, you know, your girl owns businesses, right? So when I was thinking about that concept of integration, I was like, wow, I really want my team to feel integrated. I want everyone to feel, because we have employees and contractors that are in different countries, different time zones, different shades of colors of skin, different, marginalized groups that they belong to. And I really wanted them to feel whole and wholesome, and that this is something, an organization and a company that they feel proud to be a part of, and they feel good. And they're not worried about the color of the skin, right? Because they know that everybody is looking at each other with the same eyes and same views, and being respectful of each person. So that to me is integration. And that's my business relevant topic. Let me know in the comments your thoughts about this TikToker's point of view or opinion that desegregation was the worst thing to happen to the Black community. I don't necessarily think that it was. I think integration would have been 1,000 times better. But it's the same thing. If I roll into McDonald's drive-thru and I order a double quarter pounder with cheese meal, medium, with a Diet Coke, okay, and my fries are cold, I would have much rather had a hot pack of fries versus the cold one. But, I got to figure out what to do with it. I got to get some dipping sauce or something to, make it work. And I think that's kind of where we are as a community, as a nation. We're trying to figure out how to make it work, or how to dismantle it, throw the fries away, and just make a whole new batch. So I hope that analogy made sense, because I like food. So, okay. All right, moving on to the next segment. So, hi, Antonia. This is where I get questions from either my clients or random people on the street, or somebody has emailed me and they really, really want an understanding. And I either have answered them and I thought it was something good and interesting that you may be interested in. So this week's Hi Antonia question was about funnels. So someone asked me they asked a group on Facebook, what exactly is a funnel? Why is it so expensive? And how do you make your own funnel? There's a lot of software out there that if you are a visual learner, a visual person, that you can actually create a funnel in. I remember back in the day before I knew it was called a funnel, we would create funnels, which are like workflows inside of Excel or inside of Word using shapes when I was in school. But now they have entire softwares and companies that do this for you. But essentially a funnel is a visual way of how to see a customer's journey. And if you think about it like an actual funnel that is big at the top and then it narrows itself down at the pike, that's how you can think about a funnel when it comes to your business or lead magnet or sales or marketing efforts. You want to cast out the net, and then you want to slowly move the people closer and closer to the end result, which may be to book a call with you, to purchase a book, to purchase services from you, or to give you feedback. So whatever the end result of your funnel is, that is essentially what you're doing. Now, what it looks like visually, it could be circles and squares and lines and diagonals and arrows. And essentially, you want to make sure you are visually capturing any outcome that could potentially happen from any decision that somebody could make. So if you say, hey, download my ebook, the person downloads your ebook, you want to follow up. The next step would be, hey, did you get my ebook? Did you like my ebook? What were your takeaways? All right, awesome. Here's a little bit more about me, the person who created the ebook. Okay, great. You still like me? You're still here with me? Awesome. Let's go here. Let me see if you want to book a call. And then if you decide not to book a call, what are you going to do with that person afterwards? How are you going to create that individual or that invisible bridge to get them to the next point in your funnel? So that was more or less the response that I gave to the person. I hope that was helpful. If it wasn't, let me know or send me a message, and I'd be more than happy to explain it more going forward. But that essentially is what a funnel is. And a funnel could be for lead magnets, it could be for consultations, it could be for sales, but it's basically the workflow of how to get somebody to move through the customer journey. So, all right, awesome. Okay, next up, are you ready? All right, Antonia's 2 cents. So this is where I get to talk about 2 minutes. I'm probably not going to take this long on this one. It's more like a little rant, like a little like hee kind of rant kind of thing. So you may or may not know that I have 5 kids. I think I spoke about them a lot in season 1. So of the 5 kids, 2 of them were from my previous marriage. And you know this thing that's been going on? We're going to call her Condola for the last year and a half. Condola has been with us. And 4 of my 5 kids who are old enough to go to school have been doing virtual school. And it has been a struggle. It's been a struggle. I did not know how much my children did not have common sense until Condola came to town, or that my children were not learning how to study or take notes until Condola came to town. Okay. But now my children are still virtual and I'm going to keep them that way. And so they're still enrolled in school and they are with 2 of my children are with their dad. And now he's calling me every day. He only has them for 2 weeks, but he's calling me every day. Like, is it supposed to be a 0? Why did your son turn in a blank piece of paper and thought his teacher was not going to check it? Like, so my little 2 cents is you haven't had them all Condola. So I need you to figure it out just like I did. And for the parent who was not with their kids all during Condola, this is kind of a PSA to you. Don't call us. You can figure it out. You know who you can call? You can call the same teacher that's on the website inside the virtual portal and text that same teacher the exact same thing that we did. Don't play with us. So that's my little 2 cents. I'm sorry. I know it's supposed to be like uplifting, but just lose my number real quick. All right, moving on. So let's go ahead and get into tonight's special guest. Her name, she's laughing in the background, y'all. I'm sorry. I warned her. I was like, I'm goofy. But our special guest, her name is Stephanie Barbie. She is actually our first guest of season 2. She is a ray of sunshine and light, and I absolutely love what her profession is and what she does. And when she comes out, she's going to explain it to us. She's going to explain to us her niche, how she stumbled upon it. And I promise you, as soon as you meet her, you're going to just be like, I want to be friends with you too. Exactly. Because, we only bring on really great people to the business sites of Antonia. That's what I'm saying. So, all right. I think I probably embarrassed her enough. So without further ado, please welcome Miss Stephanie.
Hey.
Hi. How are you doing?
Girl, you touched my spirit with that 2 cents, okay? Because let me just say, I know exactly what you're talking about. And don't call me is like, should be across my forehead.
Don't call me. Like you get 2 weeks. Like figure it out. That's your problem. I don't know who those kids are. They're yours.
So for real. I love them every day, but right now they're yours.
Yours. You can read. Just don't read my numbers.
Yes.
Essentially. All right, Miss Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I definitely want everyone to get to know you. So, Miss Stephanie, who are you and what makes you great?
Oh, well, thank you for having me. So I am Stephanie Barbie. I am a licensed clinical social worker in the state of Missouri, and I have a virtual practice called Spectrum of Healing. At Spectrum of Healing, we serve Black adults across the gender and sexual identity spectrum. What the heck does that mean? That means that we serve everybody. If you identify as Black, we serve you, because there haven't been enough spaces where we are intentionally taken care of. And so that is the heart of my practice, is being intentional with my people.
Exactly. We need that.
We deserve that.
We deserve it. We need it. We're owed it. So, and I think personally, me, like, I'm just now getting okay with, okay, so this is just what it is. We have to have this space. So not let me have it. I'm taking this space, and I love that you do that so much. Okay. So how long have you been working in this field and in this niche?
So I started working in social work in 2016, January 2016. And my journey has been interesting. So I started out working when I was in school. I thought I wanted to work in schools as a school social worker. And that quickly was not it. I first worked in perinatal behavioral health, so with pregnant mothers and with mothers who had children birth to 5 with parenting skills. So I got to do a lot of great work with that. But it was honestly before I knew a whole bunch. And so I was able to learn and grow over the years. And most recently, I've worked in child welfare, which is exhausting, and sending love to all of my people that work in child welfare, because baby. Most recently in child welfare. And then last year, right before the pandemic, something was just like, I know that private practice is my jam. I just don't know what it'll look like. And so I started out like a whole lot of others, having a general practice, just like, okay, I'm open, come see me. And the universe was like, no, ma'am, that's not what we're doing. And so throughout last year, I spent a lot of time growing and learning and failing and retrying. And finally, what landed was I needed to be serving who I wanted to serve. That's the whole point of private practice.
Right.
And so there birthed, being able to serve Black adults, because I'm not trying to deal with nobody's parents. So 18 and up, you can make your own choices, do your own work. And yeah, people that are ready to work, ready to heal, ready to snot and cry and laugh and all of it. That's what we gonna do.
I'm such an ugly crier.
That's okay.
Now, let me ask this, because of course I'm not a therapist. I'm not any of that. So my question is it a requirement that in order for you to heal and to go through things, you have to like ugly cry? Like, if there's not like a bubble or anything, does that mean that it's not working? Like, because that's one of the common themes I hear people say, I just don't want to cry today, or, therapy is just, yes, they feel good after the cry, but it has to be the tears. Where does that experience that?
When we have experiences of especially stress, it gets stuck in our bodies. It as energetic beings, we get energetic blocks. And so I like to think of crying as a release, as a way of moving that stuck, stagnant, unneeded, or no longer needed energy, because at some point it was purposeful. Right. And so it's not bad, but it's not needed. Any people that moves through tears, but not everyone. For some people, have more movement based things. So more like dance, and I think crying is healing.
Yes, a time where before my husband and I got married, and I would like cry like once, like, no, it's because I'm stressed, and it just relieves. Like, I don't like to go to the gym that much, so it was just like getting it out. But I always wondered why a lot of people who go to therapy, they say the floodgates have opened, but that makes a lot of sense. So that's awesome. So now my next question is, and you go to therapy. Because before it used to be shameful to be a therapist, but how do you know you're ready?
I think that you're ready when you feel it, when you're willing to do, when you're, as they say, when you're tired of being tired, right? Because the thing about therapy that I think is commonly misunderstood is that, like, while I am a magical being, my magic, if you are willing to those things that we don't like to talk about, that we're told we're that are really for therapy. Or even if you don't think you're ready to talk, if you're ready to have a different life.
Amazing. Yes, because people may be ready for a different life, but they don't know the work that's going to take to get them there. So when I hear a lot of people say, how do you know? I don't even know what the work is. So that's awesome. We talked about like what TV shows that you watch, and you watch a lot of crime shows, but what are some in entertainment, and how does any of that patients ever affect anything?
Entertainment is just of the things that are really happening, and so as a result of trauma, we after the fact are like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Get me as far away from that. Some of the things that we can't even name properly with some awareness, some pausing, then forward. And so I think in my office, I see the dysfunction in relationships. I see the suppressed anger. I see the desires to have a full, and not knowing what that even means to you, not having had the opportunity to even explore that. And dreams, the American dreams, as they say, but really not ever having had. In TV, I see all the outliers of cussing, fussing, fighting, violence, right? Right? No, go ahead. I mean, just I see it all, and it comes into the therapy room. Like,
so the reason why I asked is because I'm really trying to see how therapists see life. Like if they're like, oh yeah, I know what's about to happen. Like I know what's going on. Yada, like all these things, right? So with a client, I've niched down to help professionals. I was in a jam session with her this week, and I was talking about this new show on Netflix. It's called essentially like I'm attracted to the show. I'm attracted to the show because I see the woman's midlife crisis from a woman's point of view, versus how you always see a man with the younger lady with the big boobs, all this stuff. But what I loved is because I've been working around y'all so long, she is going through an episode. She is just lashing out. She's journaling and she's avoiding the situation. Her husband read her journal and she's avoiding the book for reading your private things, like all these different things. And I was just like, these are my clients. Look at them. But I can only imagine how you all look at stuff every single day. Hey, Glendora. She said, hey.
Hey. Well, things that bad, right? Mm-hmm. Because sometimes the movies or the TV shows gives you this impression of like what it is and what it's like. Now, of course, there are some extreme behaviors that happen as a result of experiences people have. But then there are also many more subtle things that we all do that we all kind of could be more aware of.
Right. Like I definitely see secret shame going on so much. It is such a common theme and thread in all of these drama TV shows. But then you sit there and you analyze your own life and you're like, I got secret shame too. Like, I don't want nobody to know that I have Oreo crumbs in my bed. And I'm supposed to be I'm supposed to be on the Big Willie challenge where he's trying to so like all these things. I mean, I know that's a very light-hearted secret shame, but it's definitely real. It's definitely real. So let me switch gears real quick.
Yeah.
So we talked about how you came to be, your experience, who you help, talked about entertainment. So let's talk about how do you protect yourself? How do you take care of yourself? Because you all just absorb so much. Like, tricks of how y'all be just out here vibrant.
Well, I cannot speak for everyone, but I will speak for me. So, especially in the pandemic, I realized that what I was doing was not working, right? And so I started just being open to exploring all different types of things. And so what works for me is I have a bundle of sage accessible. This one has pine in it. And so I frequently burn my sage often when I'm doing sessions. I have my crystals. And so I try to be very energetically protected during my sessions, after my sessions, making sure that I'm not absorbing my client's pain, because if I am that connected with you, then I can't be helpful to you.
Right.
And so making sure that I keep that degree of separation where I can, in the moment, we are absolutely two humans vibing in whatever vibe we're in, whether it's high vibrational gratitude or whether it's, kind of in the depths of shame. We are doing it together. And afterwards, I am leaving that where it needs to be and moving forward.
I love that. I love that you have them all right here. Like it's just, they're very close to you to keep you grounded, because you're 100% telehealth, right? Okay. All right. I think I used that wrong, but virtual. Which does that mean that you get to help everyone internationally or across the nation, or is it just in one spot?
So with my degree type currently, I can work in Missouri, and there are some states that, as a result of COVID, have lessened interstate restrictions, and so being able to practice across state lines basically. And so there are some other states that I can practice in, but primarily right now I practice in Missouri.
Okay, awesome.
Who knows what the future holds?
We always see you cross country everywhere. We have your contact information in the ticker tape, but I definitely wanted people to just that they know they've landed on the right place, right? So this is what you will see when you first get onto her site. I love this quote by Maya Angelou. And definitely right here, you're going to know whether or not this is the home for you. This is a good fit for you. So definitely reach out to Miss Stephanie for all of your healing needs. Okay, the spectrum.
Yes.
I love it. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I like to try to be respectful of everyone's time, but if you can hang tight in the waiting room for a second, I can give you a proper goodbye. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am, of course. It's like our virtual hug.
Oh, hub life. The hub life of women who say, don't call me. Like, those are your kids. Okay.
Right.
Well, I really greatly appreciate you taking the time this evening to explain to us who you are, what makes you great, and about your practice. And definitely, people will surely reach out if they feel like this is something that works for them and for you. And I absolutely love it. So,
thank you.
Oh, I'm excited.
Thank you.
You have a great night. Hold on 1 second for me.
Okay.
All right, everyone. I told you she was amazing. Right? I did. I was like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. You just want to be her friend. So definitely hit her up if you are needing a therapist in the Missouri area, if you identify as a person of color, and if you fit any of the colors on her spectrum on her website, definitely reach out to her for your therapeutic needs. All right, everyone. This was an awesome episode 2 of Business Nights with Antonia. Now on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. We're going to keep the ball rolling with some awesome mental health professional and guests. I absolutely love this season. You just wait. We have some great things going on. Last week, I said I'm going to have some back to scene things I'll be posting on my socials so that you can follow along while I build a 6-figure business by the end of December. So I've already posted some things. I'll definitely post some more things this coming week. And I'll also give you behind the scenes prepping of our live launch party. Somebody told me it was going to be $1 million launch. So I'm okay with that. Okay. All right. So have a great evening. And as always, show up, love each other, and don't be afraid to tell each other how great you are. Bye.